Peering over the rail from a ship setting sail to America, Vasilisa looks back, and in the distance she watches Manila fade into the sea. She hides her tears, can't let the children see her fears of a far-off land where she has never been, and their brown almond eyes are as bright as they can be. And she whispers, Samuel, I want to be with you. So long since you went away, Samuel, soon I'll be joining you, and then forever with you I will stay. So handsome was he when he came from across the sea. He was a soldier brave from Missouri, America. In Manila they wed and she bore him a family. Oh, how she grieved when illness caused him to leave without the ones he loved and return to America, separated by 4 years war and a mine-filled sea. She whispers, Samuel, I want to be with you. It's been so long since you went away, Samuel, soon I'll be joining you, and then forever with you I will stay. So tiny was she, bearded men as tall as trees lived here in Oneida, Minnesota, America. Vasilisa had felt that soon she would not be alone. So bravely she stands in the strange and frozen land, huddled up with her children 5, just struggling to survive, until at last our Samuel comes to make their new home. And she whispers, Samuel, I want to be with you. It's been so long since you went away, Samuel, at last we are joined again, and now forever with you I will stay. this young man here recalling his grandfather, his return to her, and the 7 sons and daughters that they raised. This card in her hand, in loving memory of her Sam, she clutches it to her breast. In peace may he rest. And from her prayer book, these handwritten words she prays. She whispers, Samuel, I want to be with you. It's been so long since you went away. Samuel, soon I'll be joining you, and then forever with you I will stay. Samuel, I want to be with you. It's been so long since you went away. Samuel, soon I'll be joining you, and then forever with you I will stay. Well, I have to tell you that that's absolutely my favorite love song. The story behind it is that my grandfather was a soldier in the Spanish-American War. Came from Missouri, went to the Philippines in 1898, and he found this beautiful little Filipino lady by the name of Basilisa. Grandfather's name was Samuel. She called him Samuel. My mother insisted you can't say Samuel because she said Samuel. And actually she mostly said Sami. But so in 1903 they got married, and they raised, or they had 5 children in the Philippines. The last was my mother, and very shortly after she was born, my grandfather contracted tuberculosis. So he had to leave and come back to the United States to be in a drier climate. And he brought his oldest son with him, who I think was 11 or 12 at the time. And they took up a ranch, or they worked on a ranch in Oklahoma, I believe it was, with his brother. Well, his brother, in about 1917, his brother decided to move north to Canada, and so just as 4 hours before he was about to get on a train with all his brother's livestock to move up to Canada, he got a wire from the Red Cross saying that his wife and children were in San Francisco. Well, Vasilisa wasn't all that, she was patient, but 4 years was enough, and she decided she would collect all the small debts that people owed her. She gathered up about a couple $100, and she was able to, she had enough to take a military transport across the ocean and landed in San Francisco. Before that, remember that the Germans were sinking, the submarines were sinking ships in the Pacific, so it wasn't safe for her to go over, and probably still wasn't quite safe then, but she was not about to wait any longer. Now here she is, about this tall, 4 little ducklings following behind her, my mother being the smallest. And they sent this wire to my grandfather, caught him 4 hours before he got on the train. And he went and gathered up all the little debts that people owed him, and he sent $200 to her and called his friend in Minneapolis and said, "Would you meet my wife at the train and take her to this place that I have put some money down on land," which was in Onamia, Minnesota. Anybody here from Minnesota? Onamia is up on it's up north. It's actually on Indian reservation up north in Minnesota, and he had put money down on a small plot of land, and so he sent her to Onamia, and she arrived in Onamia, and they didn't have a place to stay. So fortunately, there was a Lutheran minister who had just bought a house, and his old house was empty. But he had shut off the heat, there was no light, there was no electricity. It was in the middle of the winter, and the family all had the flu, except for the oldest daughter. And so they stayed in this house for, I'm not sure how long it was. I don't have all of the finest details of the story, but they stayed in the house long enough for her to discover that Connie, the oldest, she had to run back and forth to get water down the block someplace, bring it back, and finally her husband arrived, and that's kind of where the story picks up. My uncle, which was the 6th child, she ended up having 7. My uncle was the first Filipino boy born in the state of Minnesota, and she was the first Filipino lady in the state of Minnesota. So it's quite a history. My mother was a little fireball, kind of a tomboy, but she did have a very feminine side. And I imagine that many of the stories of immigrants come with memories from childhood that get buried away for years and years, and then something triggers, and you remember something of the country where you started. My mother had this love of orchids, but she also knew that orchids were so expensive, she probably would never have one. I think my father might have bought her an orchid for some anniversary one time, but it was such a rare thing that it was very treasured. Well, I was always curious about why did she like orchids so much, and I looked at them, and some of them were very beautiful, some of them I wasn't all that excited about as a kid. But one day my brother and I decided we were going to get, well, we actually didn't decide until we got to the flower shop, but there's an orchid, let's get it. And I'm not going to tell you too much about the story, except that when I was writing this song, or just before I wrote this song, I wrote this song on her birthday, last May 17th. She would have been 103 if she was still here, but she wasn't. She made it to 91, which was still pretty good. And I looked up, I said, I wonder if orchids grow in the Philippines. It's a tropical climate. And I discovered not only do they grow in the Philippines, but the orchid is the national flower of the Philippines. So maybe that is why she was, you know, so attached to it. So I had this image of how this went, and I put a little song here. This is called the Orchid Queen. There is a particular one that's called the Queen Orchid, which is, I think it's specifically the Queen Orchid that is the national flower of the Philippines. In a town 8,000 miles away, on an island so serene, she was born the 17th of May, in the year 1913. At 5 she sailed from Manila's shores. She'd never more return, but before she boarded, she caught a glimpse of a lovely orchid queen. Oh, the orchid queen of the Philippines was a blossom so sublime, and she wondered if she'd ever see a flower again so fine. Mama didn't ask for much in life, always gave more than she got. Times were hard and there just wasn't much, so she never had a lot. But she bore 4 daughters and then 4 sons, raised them all with love and pride. And on her birthday, Daddy always wished an orchid queen he could provide. Oh, the orchid queen of the Philippines, with a blossom so sublime, and she wondered if she'd ever see a flower again so fine. One year, the 17th of May, on a Sunday morn in fall, 2 sons were at the flower shop, saw an orchid on the wall. It may not have been the queen they sought, but an orchid lovely worn. So they brought it home and pinned it to her dress for church that morn. Oh, the orchid queen of the Philippines was a blossom so sublime, and she smiled like she was 5 years old to wear this flower so fine. Well, I guess she'd be 103 if she were here today. I would bring her orchids in a pot that for weeks and months would stay, and she'd never have to wonder if she would see that orchid queen. For the finest flower she would ever see was the love her family brings. Oh, the orchid queen of the Philippines was a blossom so sublime, and the finest flower she would ever see was the love her family brings.
I'm so happy to see all of you, and welcome to StoriesRoc. Let me introduce our musicians. First of all, we have Dean Santos and Kathleen Fraser. They played together in a group called Whole House Revival from 1989 to 2004. And we brought them together again for this occasion. They play occasionally, and so thank you so much for starting off our program, and you'll hear from them again. Dean has played with the Golden Link Society.
Folks,
Folks, okay, I knew I wasn't going to get the name right. I was close, yeah, I know. And now he's on the board of directors, so that's great. And Kathleen accompanies a lot of wonderful musicians, from bluegrass to indie rock bands. And she says she loves to accompany Dean because he loves to play songs about ordinary people and the social conditions that have an impact on their lives. You probably recognize Kathleen if you have come to Stories Rock events in the past. We used to meet in her home, her beautiful home on Culver, and she kind of launched us. She's also been a frequent reader for Stories Rock, and her book, Morning and Milestones, is for sale downstairs in the library. She'll be happy to sign a copy and also talk to you about some of the workshops that she offers at intermission and after the show.
This is a song written by a man who has just written hundreds of songs about the struggles of people. He's a community organizer himself. He goes into towns and works with the people right there in trying to accomplish the goals of their bring them out of their oppressed lives. He works with laborers. He works with people of different races. He works with women. And many of those people are, of course, immigrants. His name is Sai Khan, and this is a song called Lady of the Harbor. Now in your hands, Kathleen has kindly provided you with words that you may, you know where those words came from? Statue of Liberty, right? The words that are inscribed on the Statue of Liberty, and that is the chorus to this song. So I'm going to sing this chorus through to you, and I hope that you will join me. It's a little challenging, but I think with the words in front of you, you'll get it. It goes, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe freely, the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send in the horrors, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside your golden door. How about trying that with me? Make me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe freely, the wretched refuse of your teeming shores. Send them the homeless, tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. My grandpa was a scholar back in the old country, and he fled from Lithuania in 1893. Knowledge his companion, and liberty his hope. He sailed off to the Lady of the Harbor. Imagine then how beautiful that torchlight must have been to a frightened Jewish immigrant tied up in freedom's dream. The land had room for many, and he studied while he worked. Neath the lamplight of the Lady of the Harbor. Give me your time and your pour. Oh, masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send them the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside your golden door. 1937, war on every hand, a band of Jewish refugees sought shelter in this land. With the Nazis close behind them, they sailed their leaky boat toward the safety of the Lady of the Harbor. But every door was closed to them, no port would take them in. Till sick at heart, they sailed back home to Germany again, where their life returned to ashes and their bodies turned to smoke that drifted past the Lady of the Harbor. Give me your tide, your pour. Huddled masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send them the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside your golden door. Now if these tired lips could speak, what reason would they say why some are sheltered freely and others turned away? And as the terror rises, a bleeding world awaits an answer from the Lady of the Harbor. For all along the borders, the nightmare comes again, as homeless, stateless refugees seek shelter in this land. Will the lamp be raised to welcome them, or turn them back again? Only silence from the Lady of the Harbor. Give me your tide, your pour, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send them the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside your golden door. Give me your tide, your pour, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send them the homeless tempest tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside your golden door. So what kind of America will we be? That's the question.
Okay, one last song. David, Kathleen.
Oh, that
that last piece was such a beautiful segue to this song. I don't know. If you know Leah, you probably know she's really rigid about staying with the themes, right? Well, this song really isn't about immigration, but after hearing Mary's story here, we kind of get the idea that it's really that the stories that we've been hearing tonight are really about being on the other side of the border and living that life and discovering what it is to live in somebody else's culture. So this song came out of a trip that my wife and I took to England, to London, back in early 90s. And we were in London, we happened to get on a train and go to a little town in the southern end of England called Brighton by the Sea. And speaking about being, on which side of the border, right in front of us, there were the seats on the train. You kind of sit, not everybody's facing the front, you kind of face each other. And so my wife and I are sitting here, and right across from us was a couple from Penfield. He was a dentist, and when he told me where his office was, I said, I go by that office, was it 390 or 490? I go by that office, I know exactly where you're talking about. And so some lady over here, white-haired lady, she said, are you from America? And I said, why, yes. And, well, I won't tell you too much, and I'll let the song tell you what happened after that. This is called Letter from America. We thought you might like to sing the chorus once you get it, so maybe let's see, no, I'll come up on the chorus. You'll get it, okay? Riding on a plane train from London to Brighton by the Sea, I looked over at a Cockney, she was listening in on me. She said, are you from America? I smiled and answered yes. She said, soon I'll have a place to live, I'll get you my address. You can send me a letter from America. Could you send me a letter from America? Oh, I cannot read nor write, but I would surely take delight if you would send me a letter from America. Let's try that. Send me a letter from America. Could you send me a letter from America? Oh, I cannot read nor write, but I would surely take delight if you would send me a letter from America. This stranger with her odd request, she left me in dismay. Said she 'twas just a week ago my husband passed away. I cannot have my daughter, she's been taken into care. I have no place to go and too much loneliness to bear. So would you send me a letter from America? Could you send me a letter from America? Oh, I cannot read nor write, but I would surely take delight if you would send me a letter from America. Soon we'd be in Brighton, but the train was running late. She said someone would meet her there, but she wondered if they'd wait. I could not tell her age, but I could see her years were hard. She said, my birthday's coming soon, I'd love to get a card. So would you send me a letter from America? Could you send me a letter from America? Oh, I cannot read nor write, but I would surely take delight if you would send me a letter from America. The train pulled into Brighton. I gathered up my gear. I turned to see where she had gone, but she had disappeared. I wondered if her friends had met her, I could only guess. But on a paper left behind was printed her address. So I sent her a letter from America. Yes, I sent her a letter from America. Though she could not read nor write, I was sure she'd take delight if I would send her a letter from America. The weeks went by, I knew that I would likely never hear from that lost and lonely lady who for a moment had my ear. Then it came her letter, written in another's hand. Thank you so for writing me, my birthday card was grand. And I will send you a letter to America. Yes, I'll send you a letter to America. Now I'm going to school at night to help me learn to read and write. And I will send you a letter to America. I will send you a letter to America. Yes, I'll send you a letter to America. Now I'm going to school at night to help me learn to read and write. And I will send you a letter to America. I recorded this song. It was the lead song on a cassette album and also on CD. So I didn't bring it, but I sent it to her, and she's been writing to me every Christmas. We exchange letters. One year, 2001, she sent me the most beautiful, heartfelt letter of condolence. It was right after 9/11. Condolence to me and my countrymen for what we had, the terror that we had experienced. And she also told me that she had been using this song as a hymn in her church. So they played it in church, but You know, we've had this ongoing, I don't know how many different people have been writing her letters. I'm not sure if, I mean, she did tell me at one time that she really did finish. She got a certificate from night school in writing, but I still see different handwritings, I think. She gets help. So that's a true story. One of my most loved stories of what a song can do.
Thank you so much for coming. Hope to see you again next month.
Thank you, Leah. Leah.